Cancer survivorship is not a destination. Surviving cancer starts the moment you're diagnosed. Surviving cancer is really all about the journey. So I'd like to take you along on a little bit of my journey. And whether you're just starting out or whether you're a long-term survivor, I think it might mirror some of your own stories. And I think it might show you a lot about what it means to be a cancer survivor. As you just saw, many of you probably know a little bit about me from the publicity campaign here at New York Presbyterian. It's a little strange to gain notoriety for something that you never really aspired to do. And as I said, I'm a pancreatic cancer survivor. That's not something that you hear very often. Certainly not often enough. It's not one of the more common cancers, and yet it remains the deadliest. Only 6% of those diagnosed survive. So my survivor journey is one of the more rare ones you'll hear. It began in 2008, and anyone who's read my book knows that I compare the cancer journey to a ride on the famous roller coaster over at Coney Island, the Cyclone. There are many, many ups and downs, lots of twists and turns, and you're never quite sure what's around the next corner. You heard that my diagnosis was inoperable. I went through months of therapies. I went to several facilities. At the end of my treatments, I was told that I was still inoperable, that I would never become operable, and that I should go home and start to get my affairs in order. I did not accept that. We did not accept that. And that brought us here to New York Presbyterian. And I think Dr. Eisenberger, you got to feel, listening to him, about the type of doctors that are here, the type of passion that they have, and how they care about their patients. And I came across a doctor by the name of Dr. Chabot out of the Pancreas Center. And we had a long conversation that first day when I met him, and he didn't sugarcoat my story. He said I had a very difficult case. It would be a very big stretch to operate, but that if I was willing to accept the risks, he would accept the risks on his end as well, and he would attempt to operate. I had my Whipple surgery the next week, and Dr. Chabot stood over my body for 14 and a half hours, performed hundreds of microsutures, took out a good chunk of my insides, but at the end of the day, he was able to remove the tumor. After a couple of weeks in the hospital, I ended up spending almost 3 weeks in the hospital. After a couple of weeks, he came to me and told me that we hadn't quite hit the home run we were shooting for, that there was, in fact, cancer left in my body. At that point, I underwent several more months of aggressive chemotherapy, the toughest chemotherapy that I thought I could survive, and it was brutal. Pain, fatigue, neuropathy, and I had diarrhea 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 months. I lost 60 pounds. But in June of '09, I came out the other end of the tunnel, and I was declared NED. And I still, today, 4 years later, remain in long-term remission. I'm one of the 6 out of 100 who've made it this far. I've got a number of lingering side effects, mostly centered around my digestion and frequent bowel movements. We've invested in a very, very comfortable toilet seat. And we'll put it this way, if my kids can't find me in the house, they know where to look. I'm still tested every 3 months. In fact, I have my next set of scans scheduled for the day after tomorrow. So it's always a little bit of a nervous time when those scans come up. But overall, I have a very seriously good quality of life, and I'm a very lucky guy. So what have I learned as a survivor? Fighting cancer is fighting a war. You're in for the fight of your life, and it's for your life. And while you didn't start it, you absolutely must choose to fight it. The journey is filled with fear, doubt, pain and scars, hopes and triumphs. It tests your physical endurance and your mental toughness. Sometimes it seems like it's easier to just give in, to give up when the road is darkest. And yet that's exactly the time when we survivors discover something special about ourselves. We discover that we do have the faith and the strength and the courage to carry on, that the side effects are endurable, and that the will to live is stronger. I've learned that to get through this battle, it helps to have heroes on your side. And for me, I had a couple of heroes. For one, it was that special surgeon, Dr. Chabot, who had the courage and the skills to expand the boundaries of what was a typical surgery for a pancreatic cancer patient, and who ultimately gave me the chance to live. And it was my wife, Linda, who survived her own battle with cancer 13 years ago, and was one of the only people who could truly understand what it was like and what I was going through. She pushed me through the obstacles that came up. She took over completely when I was too weak to carry on. And she remained confident and optimistic that we would get through this together and that I would survive. It's important to let people who love you help you. So, to Linda and to all of the caregivers here in the audience, it is with our eternal gratitude that we thank you, because we wouldn't be here without you. Throughout the journey, you have to remember that a positive attitude matters. Everyone's going to tell you that. The doctors will tell you, the nurses will tell you, and I questioned it a lot. But in the end, it really does matter. You need to find ways to ramp up your spirits. You need to keep doing your hobbies and keep enjoying the things that you love. My journey has been highlighted with a million silver linings. I lost a lot of daily contact with the outside world, and yet I had college roommates who I hadn't seen in 25 years come to me 2 days after they found out that I was sick. I lost my career as a corporate CEO the very same week that I was diagnosed. And yet I seem to have found a new path, one where I can help people. I certainly lost my sense of youth and invincibility, but I think I gained a mature understanding of what's really important in life. Survivors are pushed to the edge of a cliff, and somehow we're pulled back. And in the end, we're given a gift. It's the gift of a new perspective on life itself. I think this is the best way I can describe it to you. When I was a CEO, every morning I would get up and I would have to get my daughter ready for school, and it was the worst 60 minutes of the day. I was rushing and rushing and rushing, and she was taking her time, and if the bus was 5 minutes, I was angry because I needed to get to work. I needed to get to more important things. And now I wake up and I get my son and my daughter ready for school, and we walk down to the bus stop, we watch the sun come up, and we count the birds and the cars. And it doesn't really matter if the bus ever gets there. It's the best 60 minutes of the day. And as the cancer journey continues, we have to remain vigilant. There's no way to sugarcoat the seriousness of this disease. There's no way to avoid the statistics. But you cannot let the statistics hijack your thinking. The only statistic that matters is yours. You make your own statistic. More than ever, people are surviving all types of cancers, and they're surviving longer. My own case had many twists, many ups and downs. I didn't make all the right decisions, but I made enough right decisions to be standing here before you. It's proof that it can happen, and it's proof that it does happen. No matter what stage your cancer is, there are people who have survived.
Thank you.
You can survive too. You have to believe in your heart that you can do it. I'm often asked, what did I do to survive cancer? And I wish I could tell you there was this one magical John Wayne climactic moment. But this isn't the movies. This is real life. And in real life, it's actually a lot of smaller things, like maintaining good nutrition, keeping up your exercise, finding a medical team that you can trust and that's committed to you, being your own best advocate, and yes, keeping up that positive attitude. I think in the end, it's just waking up every morning and committing to do what you have to do that day to advance the fight. So when I'm asked what I did to survive against nearly impossible odds, I simply say, I never gave up. Remember, survivorship is not some title you get by reaching a destination. Survivorship is the title you get the day you begin the fight, and it stays with you every step of the journey. Wear the title proudly, and may your journeys all be long. Don't ever give up the fight. Stay strong, stay a survivor. Thank you.